Hello everyone, welcome back to Pirate Cove Philippines. Today is May 19th, Sunday. Quiet day here today, so I thought I'd get a video in. I've been out for about 3 weeks, kind of off the YouTube grid. We were very busy here. As you know, elections were just ended here a few days ago. I think Monday, actually, almost a week ago. We were so busy, so many t-shirts and all this other types of printing we do, and we just got overwhelmed. And so I didn't have a whole lot of time, and I spent a few days here now getting over the flu, and just kind of in a funk, I call it. Okay. Some people might call it the blues. Some people, you know, I wouldn't want to refer to it as depression, but I just I pull back from things a little bit and just kind of get my thoughts together a little bit. We have a bad day here. It's like any other place. I had a lot of bad days in my home country of the United States. And there's where some problems can come in. I think a lot of people associate the fact that it's paradise all the time here. Well, it's not. No, we're living normal lives. We're just doing it in another country. Now, certainly we have problems with things, and they're new problems. How did somebody put it one time on one of the other videos? First world problems in a third world country. Well, there's a lot of truth to that one. What can you say? But here's where I see a lot of problems. And in many of my videos, I've always talked about, getting into some of the Facebook expat groups for information about living here, or those, possibly are already living here. There's a lot of great information in there. People that are experienced, that's been here, been in the area that you may be going to or already live in, and there's a great deal of information all of it's going to help you one way or another. At the same side, it's a double-edged sword, because one thing I found is that expats in expat groups on Facebook can complain more than any group of people I think I have ever run into in my life. And some of them, all they do is complain over and over about some of the silliest things. Now, hey, there's plenty here to complain about being an expat. There's a lot of problems with, trying to live here in another country, and a lot of my videos are about that and how to get around some of those things. I don't try to live and I certainly don't try to put across to anybody here in my videos that everything is paradise all the time. My glasses are rose and everything is, just peachy. It's not. But I'm also not going to sit here and complain all day about everything. The fact is that I'm here. I've chose to live here. Nobody held a gun to my head. So I got to deal with these things. And then again, we have our bad days. You can handle it here and you can handle it there, and sometimes things build up a little bit. Maybe that's what happened to me over the last 3 weeks, but most of it was we just got really busy. And but if you tune in with some of these groups, and also on YouTube, Facebook groups, one thing, the Philippine vloggers groups that are out there. If you've been looking at any of the YouTube videos, it's not as bad now, but for about a year, there was just some of the most hateful fights going on between vloggers on YouTube, which was just nonsense, and it was crazy. And so what will happen is that if you tune into some of this stuff and you're already maybe, having some blues, having a bad day, it's contagious. It really is. And so you have to be careful with this stuff. Tune it out if you have to. I kind of tuned out all social media here for, a good part of a couple weeks. Myself, not good as a vlogger. I need to be, I need to be putting my stuff out. Maybe it's good therapy for me. I'll see. But it can almost be contagious, these social media outlets. And you can't let it influence you. You have to deal with it. Like I said, you'll see the complaining going on. And some of it is definitely things to complain about. But you'll see the hate go on. And guys will express problems, and you'll get the idea that it's that way all over the Philippines. And that's not. And that's one thing I've always tried to point out in my videos, is depending on where you are, the situation, government is run differently all over the Philippines. So your experience will be very different on another island as it is here, even just in the next city over, or possibly the next province over. It may be completely different for someone living over there in many aspects of it. Generally, things kind of run all the same through the Philippines, but a lot of things that an expat is going to deal with on a daily basis living here, that's where things can be different. So if I'm sitting here telling you I can't get this done here, you can't get nothing done in the Philippines, well, that's not the right way to go, because those same problems may not exist at all in other places here in the Philippines. Different problems may exist there. So when you have these guys just coming on and stating general statements and making it sound like it's that way throughout the Philippines, and if you dig into their comments a little bit more, or maybe look at other comments from these people, you'll find they complain. That's all they do is complain. They complain about everything. They seem to have a real bad taste to the food, the people, women, a lot of it about women. What can you say? They think everything's corrupt. They think everyone's out to steal your money. And they just make sound like living here is just like the worst torture in the world. And it's like everyone, a lot of people will say, why are you here? If it's that bad, why are you here? And I would go to the point of saying that there are some that make up stories just to get the attention from it. Some of the stories are just so out there, and they don't make any sense. And that's probably a very small amount that's made up. But I think people do get certain things in their head, and maybe they're getting it from the internet. They're saying, oh, I know a guy. Well, maybe it was something he saw on Facebook in a group or a friends list or something. And they're making it sound like my buddy I know real close, I'm personal with him, and so they say, oh, I know a guy that had his wife took everything from him and got him deported and all this stuff. You hear all the bad stuff. The bad stuff is what is the drama, and that's what gets clicks. It's what gets clicks on YouTube. You get the drama. The everyday, normal, average expat living here does not see these problems on such a high rate as you're going to read or see on YouTube. Let's face it, the guys that are having a good life, normal, everyday, been living here for years, you don't hear anything about them. People don't want to really hear that. The drama is what gets all the clicks, and that's what everyone wants to watch. That's what everyone wants to hear. So put a filter on it. Use your filter in your brain. Filter through some of the BS, okay? And don't let it get to you. I'm pretty good about that stuff, and even when I'm kind of down, which I was, and it got me, and that's where I tuned out. So do yourself a favor. You're on here, you're already looking at my videos, you're probably looking at other videos, you're getting ready to come here, you're looking into maybe different countries to come to, and maybe you've been here a while. You're researching. Obviously that's what you're doing by looking at my videos, probably already, is you're doing your research, and that's the most important thing. Do your research. Put a filter on it. Some of it's not going to sound quite right. When you hear the same stories over and over about certain things, you can probably start to believe that's probably something you need to watch for. It's probably the truth. It probably happens that way. I'm sure you can get kind of a feel for people that are hopefully like me. I know some of the other YouTube bloggers that I talk to a lot, they're putting it out there pretty much the way it's happening for their life where they are. They're pretty honest about things. They give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. For example, Pilo in the Philippines, great guy, lives not too far from me here. He helped me a lot with getting my channel going. Great guy. And he'll tell you both ways. He just puts it out there just the way it is. A lot of things that are so fantastic. He's been going all over the place, seeing new places, and it's a fantastic experience. And the next time he'll tell you about a really bad experience, and he'll just tell you straight out. Same way with Philly in the Philippines, in Angeles City. Like us, they have a business. His wife has a Sari Sari store. And so they're giving you this stuff on a daily basis, exactly what's going on. And they're not trying to opinionate it too much. They tell you how they feel about it, but they also kind of give you both sides of the story and let you decide how is that going to work for you? How does that feel for you? And that's the best kind. Way down south on Mindanao, Tom and Ruth Philippines Adventure. Wow, he gets a lot of stuff out there. They're really a great couple down there. And he gives it pretty much the way things are down there in his part of the world. There's great vloggers all over the Philippines now. It's really expanded. When I first was doing my research, when I still was in the States, there was a few, but the ones that I kind of tuned into because they seemed like they were, pretty reasonable guys that were putting out what seemed to be good information, and that was Ned at Philippine Dreams, My Philippine Dreams, and Ricky, Life Beyond the Sea, who has now moved on to Vietnam with some all-new adventures. Wish him the best over there. I got great information from those guys. They were very informative about coming here and what to expect and the do's and don'ts, and they both had their different ways of putting it out there, and they gave it, how it really was, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's what you need. You need to be able to take it all in. You can't just have someone tell you. I've had people on Facebook say, it's not possible for you to be happy. You're not being truthful. Whatever it was I was talking about, an experience or something that, I enjoy my life here. I'm happy with it. I have no regrets. Something to that effect. And the guy come back at me, and this has happened more than once. You're lying. It's impossible for you coming from America to be happy here. You're seeing the whole world through rose-colored glasses. You're not being truthful with yourself or anyone around you, and certainly not here in this group. And it's like, where does that come from? The guy's obviously unhappy and wants to call anybody that is happy or getting along well here a liar. Hey, we're all individuals, okay? This experience is completely different for the next guy and this guy and for you than it is for me. A lot of it is generally the same. But you're not going to like the same Filipino food that I do. And there's things that you're going to eat Filipino food that I won't even touch. But we all like a steak and potato, okay? We're individuals. So a lot of things are generalized, yes, but I don't know. Hard to find the words for what I'm trying to get across. I think you understand where I'm going. Just be careful with social media. As much as it can be good, it's that double-edged sword that can cut the wrong way and may give you the wrong impression, may give you some wrong information. And so continue doing your research. It's one area that I didn't even know about expat groups in the Philippines. I wasn't a big Facebook person prior to coming here. My late wife was on there some. I did a little bit on there. And only after my late wife passed away, just to get information, her family, which lived here, my late wife was Filipina, did I actually get involved on Facebook and Messenger, and it was to give them the information about my wife that had passed away. And only then did I actually get involved in Facebook. So when I was researching this, I was kind of still new on Facebook. I used a lot of YouTube videos. Only after I was here, maybe 6 months before I actually started getting into the expat groups here. And it was like, oh my God, I should have been in these before I came here. You can go in there and ask questions and get, be one-on-one with multiple people within a group. If you already know the area you're going, like I did, you can start getting information about the area and what it's like. If you ain't got 1,000 questions about things before you come here, you're not doing something right. So it's a great place for it. So use the filter, use your good common sense, and just continue getting your research. But don't let it don't let them bother you. It can get really, really out of hand sometimes. So anyway, I got some good ideas for some videos here. A little bit more about our business, about running a business here in the Philippines. Probably try to steer most of you away from that. It's not as easy as it looks, but it can be done. But anyway, I'll go into our business and how it's done here, and a few other things. And I'll get myself back in here and start cranking out the videos again. And hopefully you'll all stick with me. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you here soon in the next video. Bye.